A very good morning to you. I mean, it's midweek, 2 more days, then it's weekend. You're alive, you're breathing, and you're watching Joy News Interactive live on digital address GA0992539, Kokomeri Crown on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we're Joy News on TV. Now, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union says effective September 16, public transport fares will go up by 10%. Explaining the basis for the increment, the union said the various components that go into the running of commercial transport services have gone up. For some time now, the union has called for an increment in their fares as prices of spare parts have also gone up. The increased fares will cover intra-city, intercity, and shared taxis. Now, they advise all members of the union to comply with the new fares and post the fare list at all loading terminals as to avoid any confrontation with the traveling public. Now, the last time fares were increased was in January 2018. And because you and I, we use public transport all the time, you've been reacting to this. And this is what you had to say on Facebook. Michael Kwesi says if the government wants to generate more money, one, he should reduce the salaries of the parliamentarians and paid as he pays teachers and doctors. Number two, the number of MPs should be reduced. Robberies in parliament with big suits and ties stealing our money. It's high time the government appointees and those officials pay their own utilities. At Ericus, who says, I think Ghanaians are ready for that. It's been long. We've experienced that. And Abu Samba thinks that our salaries should also go up. At Vida Lexa says the GPRTU has done extremely well by not increasing fares despite fluctuations in petroleum prices at the fuel stations, and they can't afford to be bearing that any longer. If politicians are made to pay for the fuel they consume, that money can be used to subsidize taxes on fuel for the masses. Nene B. Kwame says, you reduce the fuel price, you won't reduce fares. Now the fuel hasn't been increased and spare parts hasn't increased either. Why are you increasing fares? At Pounds Telling says, another problem for the citizens of Ghana, when are we also going to benefit? If transportation is going to increase, then the government needs to look at the salary of every citizen and make sure it also increases. You can't get at least, let's say, 300 cedis and pay transport 10 Ghana cedis for your in and out. Man go run for Ghana. And Jao Iju Asamoah says, for what reason? GPRTU wants to increase price over 20 pesos to 10%. How? We shall kick against it. And Ernest Trudeau says, the poor are suffering more. This one is from Mr. Francis P, who says, what is the best economics to get the country going? Number one, taxes high or low. Number two, government less or more. Number three, exports versus imports. Four, employment services or industrial. Number five, self-made products. And six, consumer-owned petroleum products. The economic planners should look at these fronts. That's from Mr. Francis P. Sifas says politics in Ghana is cheap. People in government take the citizens for granted and get away with it. How on earth will transport fares go up significantly twice in a year without cushioning workers' salaries? You can go to our Facebook page and join the conversation there. Now, blogging in Ghana has become a new thing. It seems like if you have a phone, some data, and follow a few celebrities around, you can become a blogger. We spoke to one of the earliest pioneers of blogging in Ghana, and that's Amaya Deborah, about how the industry is faring.
It pays if you are doing it full time, and I'm doing it full time, so it does pay. It's slow in terms of digital. The marketing space is just slow in Ghana, and so there's very little campaigns online on the website. But now increasingly, brands are understanding that space, and they are trying to involve some of us, and that's the only way we get money. So, and the more awareness, the more understanding the brands are of that space, then it can become a real business, not just for me, but everybody else who's inspired to be in that space. So, it's an interesting space. It is growing, and if you're not, we should be careful to grow it in a taste that it doesn't become like bastardized, so that brands would see the value and want to come. And that's how I've wanted to, and I'm doing my brands. I want it to be such a way that it's attractive for everybody. The future now is there's a lot of people in it, but I don't see too much quality being added, and I don't see too much diversity. I want that quality to go up, especially those doing entertainment. They feel it's easy. It's the easiest thing to do. You pick something from somebody's Facebook, Instagram, and you post, and that's it. But I think people should create content, entertaining content, relevant content, and those other people should have people emerge outside of the entertainment space and grow. We should have people do things on sports. We should have people have a voice when it comes to health, when it comes to environment, when it comes to social issues. We want to see all these assets of blogging thrive. It shouldn't be, I guess because I'm like one of the early pioneers, and because I'm doing entertainment, everybody wants to do that. But I think for it to be a business, there should be that diversity, and all of them. At least we must identify one strong person in all these sectors. Because the whole world is gravitating towards digital, social media, online, period. And so for me, like I said earlier, it becomes a business once the big brands, or even the small brands, appreciate that space and engage those who are already leaders in the space. TV came about when I worked with a few other bodies. I set up Pulse, I set up yen.com.gh, and